Hey everybody, Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Oxygen Not Included episode 33, which originally streamed live on Twitch. Okay. Snow or ice melted and it became unreachable. Got it. Hey, we're almost done to flip on the switch. Awesome. One more column. And there we have it. So, first things first, we switch on the transformers, which then powers up the scanners and allows us to power up the doors. We take a look at the scanners, which currently if we take a look at the automation overlay, flip this switch, and they aren't detecting any strikes, so the doors are free to be opened. I don't know what's going to happen to Viper in a second here. He's about to have a nice fall. Boop! Everything drops. This here catches the stuff that would have dropped down into my brine water lock, because we don't want to boil off the brine and then start venting. So here we have scan quality 100%, scan quality 100%, meaning that they don't have obstructed views. Now, if the meteorites start to stack up really high here, or here, it will start to obstruct. But for now, it's not obstructing. And then the telescope, I'm going to set this to 9, has also a view, unobstructed. And that should start to allow us to scan space. That's very cool. Hey, wort seeds. Don't mind if I do. Did Thor level up again? Has not, no. Yeah, so has some cheese because of the sunburn and whatever else. Gonna have a bit of a... They're gonna be a little cranky. So we're still working on the steel for the steam engine, and I might need to make some changes. Oh, so here we go. There is a scan detected meteorite shower coming in. So the scanners are sending a green signal, which means strikes incoming. I flip it to a red signal, which means no to the doors. You need a NOT gate. And now all the doors are shutting. Now, one thing to note about the shutting doors is the amount of power it is drawing out of my battery network is ridiculous. It's a lot of power. So I'm gonna nearly brown out, but they're closed now. And now my power usage is back to normal. So if you take a look at the diagnostics of power usage, you can see a huge spike when the doors open and close, which is what I was referring to earlier. And there we go, incoming object detected. So the reason why you want multiple scanners and really good view from the scanners is more scanners gives you a more advanced warning, and a really good view gives you a high scan quality. So with 2 scanners with perfect quality and a perfect view, you'll have enough time to close your doors. If you don't have enough heads up from your scanners, the doors won't close in time, and then things get slammed into. So any minute now, you're going to start to see strikes on the bunker doors. And then another thing I could do is a signal switch here, which forces the doors closed. So even when the strikes are over, the doors stay closed. And what that would allow me to do is it will allow me to mine any regolith that gets built up here. Will the natural gas come back? Yes, it will. It comes back in just a few days. Let's see. 6 cycles. So yeah, it's going to be back with time to spare. So the other thing I wanted to do is to use the heat from these strikes as a way to produce steel. So that's my next project. And let me update that. So we do have start to produce steam from space strikes. There we are. So now we have the telescope, not that we've used it yet. We have the scanners, we have the doors, we have most of what we need. So the next thing for a... the next thing we need is steam. It's a steam rocket that we'll be sending. A steam engine. So, planning that means going down to the oil biome and grabbing some diamond. Why do we still not have a path here? I really don't understand. Oh! Oh! Hi. Yeah, what? I guess... Yep, that would be it. Some of the water refroze and blocked passage. There we go. So we're getting the lead for tuning up the power grid, and then we're getting diamond for temp shift plates. Alright, Mr. Glitch, I'm going to have you stop cooking altogether, because I think we don't need it anymore. We have 100 and... Yeah, we have plenty of food. We have plenty of food. So now I think the strikes are over. What we could do is we could go up here and just dig out what landed. Or, alternatively, I could flip this switch and allow the doors to reopen. And then have the regolith drop to wherever it lands and dig that way. If I was to set this up more complicated, I could set up auto miners. Auto miners are little utilities that do the mining for you. But auto miners, where are they? I don't even think I have them researched. Auto miners require coolant because as they work, they produce heat, and as you produce heat, if you don't dissipate it, it breaks. No, I guess I do have them. The little robo miners. They're what? Utilities? Or something? Oh, and I browned out here. There we go. So then, as you can see, this stuff drops. The mesh tiles catch the stuff that would land on the scanners. And then, yeah. And then we just have to mine it out. So there, the telescope is now idle. That indicates to me that we have found a carbon asteroid. And I'm gonna analyze the other one too, because I might as well. Okay, we got the diamond we wanted. Diamond's really good to transfer temperature around, or heat around. So that's why we need diamond to produce steel. It'll make sense soon. I could set up 2 more batteries to prevent brownouts. That wouldn't be terrible. I am so low on steel, though. Let me just max out my batteries here. Or not steel. I'm very low on refined iron. I didn't really need the extra battery storage until now, but now that I'm opening gates, it's pretty necessary. Let's go ahead and hit some more refined iron as well, because I ran myself out of it. So, checking the material overlay for metals, and looking for big pockets of orange. So, that's not it. Jeez. Is it a different color? This is a pretty good pocket here, I guess. Why is autosaving taking so long? I don't know. Just inefficient save file stuff. Well, our stress is back down to 0 now that nobody's sleeping outside in space. So that's healthier. So what I'm doing here is I'm setting up bunker tiles out on the surface in order to mitigate damage to the steel production, and then setting the rest in metal tiles because it's just a lot cheaper. I'm going to make one metal tile to... Actually, let me try to make this even cheaper. I'm going to make one metal tile out of, let's say... Lead's going to be the wrong temperature, but... copper? No, honestly, iron is probably the way to go. So manual airlock door. Put this as iron. And the metal tiles will do refined iron. Alrighty. So this melting temperature is probably, yeah, it's very, very, very high. I don't need to worry so much about it. Also, I'm going to need to move that door a little bit, as you'll understand why. So we'll put the door here. Nope, tiles there. Okay, that looks right. Perfect. So then the idea here is to fill this up with temp shift plates and basically take the temperature, take the heat from the impacts to this bunker tile and send it into the water that I'm going to put in this room to turn the water to flash it into steam, and then to pump that steam out and use the steam to power up our rocket. Which means we're going to need steam or steel pumps to move that steam around. But that's sort of the idea there. And to help out with our lack of refined iron, let's prioritize mining it up here. All right. Looking good. Checking all the other systems that we have. Why are bristleberries there? Looks like we have enough rust and salt to last us. K-cows look pretty good. Water looks... well, I have an excess of water at this point, so it looks real good. Breathability looks fine. It all looks good. So for now, I'm going to leave this manual airlock open so that I can access the inside. Stick a bunch of temp shift plates in here. And then also the use of the metal tile is so that we can conduct the heat more easily. So there's a lot of things going on in here. I'm also going to sweep all the stuff out of there so that it's not weird. There we go. Now we have tons of iron. The Badlands. Chock full of it. Oh, and strikes are incoming. So you'll actually start to see this bunker tile here, if it gets hit, superheat. Which is exactly what we want. Oh, poor Kelvin with his burn there. So the other thing is, let's go to utility and go to temp shift plates. So temp shift plates, because I haven't used them before, I'll explain. Accelerates or buffers heat dispersal based upon the construction material used. So if you build it with something that that doesn't conduct very well, it buffers slowly. Or if you build it with something like diamond, which conducts heat very well, it buffers quickly. Where is diamond? There it is. So I'm going to need a little bit more diamond, but basically we're going to fill this up with temp shift plates to allow the heat from the bunker tiles to conduct into the room and then superheat the room, boiling all the water that's in the room and turning it into steam so that we can use it to power up a steam engine. Fancy, right? So the rest of the diamond I need is probably right here, I'd imagine. And I'm going to override the signal switch so that I mine this stuff up. So here's a perfect example. This Regolith hit, and the temperature of this bunker tile went up like 50 degrees Celsius as a result of the strike. So that's exactly why I put it up here in space. And then the bunker tiles made of steel protect it from being destroyed, and then the iron here helps to conduct. And then the diamond helps to conduct as well. I'm going to sweep this out, knowing that the gold amalgam is going to heat up parts of the base, but it's not that much gold amalgam. So then stick a bottle emptier in here so we can dump some water. So the idea here is to fill with a few tons of water and then to flash that water into steam and pump that with a gas pump made of steel. It has to be made of steel or it will get destroyed. A pump made of steel to send that out through... You know, in this case, I'm going to use ceramic. I actually might not have the material for ceramic. Let me check. I don't really have any clays. Yeah, I don't really have enough clay to use ceramic, so I'm not going to. We are just going to use igneous to insulate it so that it doesn't lose its heat. I could even have it be radiant in these walls, because these walls are super hot. But the other important thing is you don't want it to phase change. So once you pull the steam out, you don't want the steam to recondense into water, because it will actually damage the pipes and break them and rupture and leak everywhere, and it's annoying. So when this runs, you need to make sure your steam is particularly hot so it doesn't phase change back to what you don't want. Just a warning. The only other thing I'm going to want to do is a little signal switch so I can turn it on and off. And we finished flow redirection for a surfboard, because I totally don't care about that. Pretty smart way to use space heat. Thanks. It's just a very, very cheap way to make steam. There's smarter ways to make steam, but this one is like free, virtually, so I'll go for free. Free sounds good. Alright, a little bit more diamond for temp shift plates. I need 1,600 more diamond, so yeah, I'm going to need to mine up some additional diamond. Why are you standing there, Glitch? Are you glitched? I think oh, yep, the passage resealed. Very cute. That is very annoying. How do I get more diamond? So there's diamond here, but it's kind of hard to get to. It doesn't all need to be diamond. Like, it's nice that it's diamond, but I'm just gonna go the whole 9 yards and make the whole dang thing diamond, because why not? Overkill is the best kind of kill. So we'll dig out a little passage there and ladder there, and what is this, made out of granite? Yeah, that's fine. We'll get diamond that way. So telescope idle, yeah, I will keep analyzing. And one thing I want to show is what there is. So, the carbon asteroids have things like diamond, coal, and refined carbon that you can harvest at certain percentages. So, like this right one has slightly more diamond than the left one. It also has some unknown resources where you only get to know when you send resource modules from a rocket there. But what essentially asteroids allow you to do is to have renewable resources that don't naturally occur on your map tile. So, for instance, I have a finite amount of diamond available to me, right? Once I mine out all the diamond, there is no more diamond. So, sending space missions out to where there are diamonds... Oh, look at all this salt. would allow me to renew a otherwise unrenewable resource. There's also some resources out there that are only obtainable through space. So that gives you options to have sort of very fancy space age materials that you wouldn't otherwise have. So another thing to note is the temperature gradient of this bunker tile. So the top is about 180 C and the bottom is 110 C. Once all of the diamond temp shift plates are built, you'll see that it will equalize a lot better because of the way temp shift plates work. And here we have another hit. One of the reasons why I have the override switch switched is so that I don't have to spend the power to continually open and close these doors until I actually have need of opening and closing the doors, which I don't need to at the moment. Unreachable toilet. Oh god, it just keeps getting clogged. Speaking of toilets, I'm going to dig a separate ladder out here because it's getting a little absurd how often my dupes are getting marooned down here. Puppy treats. Don't mind if I do. Hey, dude. There you go. You want me to pet him too? You're in luck. He loves pets. Alright, so the start of the temp shift plates are getting installed. And once the whole thing is temp shift plated, well, another thing that you need to do here is temp shift plates or drywall. So drywall is a utility where it doesn't allow gas to dissipate. Because if we're filling this with water, as soon as the water becomes steam, it would just vent out into the atmosphere here, right? So it's really important for us to either fully temp shift plate or fully drywall this up. Because if it doesn't have those things, then all the steam will just go to space and not be able to be used in a rocket. And keeping an eye on my steam amount? Yeah, I still need lime, huh? Alright. I think some of the reason why we don't have the lime that we want is because the passageway down here keeps getting clogged. Let's go ahead and start to dig up more fossils for lime so that we can make the steel that we need for winning. So there it is. Hey, buddy. Can you look up at chat? Natural gas is probably back in a day and a half or a cycle and a half. Not bad. So pretty soon here, you'll see these temperatures equalize. And they'll equalize even faster when introduced to steam, which will also help to do some of the equalization. And that ladder is nearly done. There's also a lot of exploration that I haven't done, so there's a lot of salt here that I haven't utilized. And probably won't need to. There's a coal biome that I haven't been to with more Wheezeworts, but I already have Wheezeworts I'm not using, so going there isn't really a high priority for me. And we're almost there. This is a really long commute. Alright, so now the bottom has already gone up about 12 degrees Celsius, easily enough to boil water. But I'm just going to keep adding and adding and adding to it until it's ready to go. And then we'll put liquid in here, water, and boil it off and send it to a rocket. I might change the way I liquid feed water here. Oh, made a mess. That's not good. Oh, you got marooned again. Man, this stupid liquid just keeps recondensing. I think what I'll do is I'll actually allow this liquid to just drop into the chlorine area so that it stops freezing constantly and causing me problems, because it is getting unpleasantly annoying. So I'll set it up something like that. The other issue that I'm going to have is the water is starting to back up here, which means the sewers are going to back up soon. So I think what I'll do is I will carve out a little space for more water to be stored here. In fact, yeah, no, that was fine. Something like that. Just because when this liquid reservoir fills up, our toilets stop working, and that could get gross quick. Alright, there's the last two shift plates. Instruction 7s. We got a lot more strikes. So the other really important thing... Oh, and here you can see our little door doing exactly what it was made to. Catching a strike and preventing it from actually damaging anything that matters. But one thing that's important is that we need to continually dig this out so that it can be hit over and over and over again to produce heat. So one could make the argument that it would be smarter to have my dig entrance here, because this spot matters more, but whatever. We're going to dig the whole thing, I think. Well, I know we'll dig the whole thing. Who's idle? You're idle because there's nothing to do? Sounds like a lie to me, but alright. Alright, so we're getting the fossils, we're getting the diamond... And we should be all set. Can your dupes get hit? Yes, they can get hit and they can die. So that's something to watch out for. Is he stuck again somehow? What are you doing? It's at the end of your cycle. Go, like, back home. As far as I can tell, there's no physical reason why they can't travel back to the... Oh, the checkpoint filled up. How the heck did we send more suits through the checkpoint than should have been available? There's some error somewhere in the system. Because my dupes are going through here. Yeah, okay, I see. I see the problem. So what we need to do is we need to just stick a tile here. What's happening is instead of going through the checkpoint to take off their suits, they're going up and over. And a 3 tall tile here will stop that from happening. Randall Thor, thanks for the gifted subs. So what I did to solve this is I just physically undocked 2 suits. And as you can see, they're already peeing their pants. But physically undocked 2 suits so that they can travel back through the space dock, or the airlock dock, and take their suits off. Because they weren't literally not able to do that before then. Alright. One stupid little problem, and the whole thing goes kaputskis. So there's Hess, and then Thor is getting unstuck now, too. Oops. Yeah, we're going to have a bit of stress. I don't think it's going to hit like 90 stress, or 100 stress, rather, for a stress reaction. But, glad I figured that out, like, kind of soonish. So then, let's clean up. And see to it that it does not happen again. So if it's set up correctly, if I recall correctly, there was, undock, deliver. I didn't have enough suits because I didn't have enough Reed fighters to fill this whole thing, but we have this suit that goes there and the 3 other suits that's down there. So yeah, I do believe that I fixed the suit problem. Good. Very good. And more food. More gross suits, but more food. So we're getting that fossil, turning into steel, and our steel's been stalled at 1250 for a while. But that also probably means that our coolant line is good. If I take a look, yeah, we don't have any coolant that needs cooling, so we'll be able to do a good batch of steel once I get some lime, once I get some fossil. And the diamond shift plates are almost done, and as you can see, the bottom of this floor tile now is about 150 C. It started at 110, so it really has heated up considerably, which is great. Some of the heat has traveled into these tiles here from the bunker door, and that's causing them to get damaged. So what I'll do is I'll lower this, which is going to be annoying, because we'll have to climb around it. I am, hey Chan, I'm doing pretty well. I am doing pretty well. Hey, Yoda, treats. I'm actually here. I exist. I just have had Yoda on the whole time. So if I'm not mistaken, there should be one person past this suit dock, so let's find them. Maybe not. Maybe I'm missing a suit. I don't believe anyone's marooned. Oh, yeah, okay. It was probably Hess. We'll see now that it's downtime. Yep, okay. Yep, we're good. We are good. Thor did level up, so let's give that skill point up. So, Thor, you will get exosuit training. That should speed you up even more. I'm gonna do something a little ridiculous here. I'm gonna feed this through a pipe system. So we'll do a liquid shutoff, so I can turn it off and on at my whim. And I'll feed it from the system down below. So then I'll have another signal switch, and this one will control the liquid shutoff and make sure that that has power. So the diamonds are done. And then this is going to be fed by the clean water line, which is here, I guess. So let's stick a little liquid bridge in. I don't care about how ugly it is, and we'll start insulating it here on out. So there it is, the liquid line for it. All right, the expansion to our water storage so that our sewage doesn't overflow. Lest we forget about this, I'm going to try to destroy these without actually making a big old spill. Done. And this should be priority like 9, because our toilets are about to back up. I could put in salt water for the free salt, but I don't really want to add the manual labor of having to run them all over there to clear the salt out in what will be a locked airlock, so unless I wanted to include like a steel auto sweeper to bring the salt out, it would just be more work for no reason. So, no, absolutely not. How's the heat? Oh yeah, so the heat problem that we had from the desalination process has been addressed. It's pretty chilly in there now. The steel's starting to climb up again. We're finally moving towards the 2K for the engine. And the liquid line is getting built. I think that's probably easier than actually just bottle handling, because every time we open the door, steam will escape. So this way, once this liquid vent is built, we can lock the door and not really have to go in there anymore. It will self-regulate through signal switches. There is a way to automate Regolith from meteors rather than have to dig it yourself, but it requires a lot of setup, and I don't have the time to set that up. It requires auto miners, these little robo miners. The robo miners, what they do is they dig everything within the box that you see, which is pretty easy to do, but the problem is you need some way to dissipate the heat, because the robo miners, as they work, will heat up and up and up. And if you don't have a way to dissipate that heat, they will eventually break down. So the way to dissipate the heat is to like set them up so that they're built like this, like on, let's say, metal tiles that conduct heat well, and then to leak liquid on them that has a very high boiling temperature, so that the liquid helps to move the heat away from, so you would need not only that, but you would need like temp shift plates or whatever, so that the robo miner is sitting on a platform, sitting with temp shift plates, and you're basically running coolant through the robo miners regularly. That would be the way to do it. Or to build them out of thermium, but I don't have the materials to build thermium right now. So the TLDR is, yes, it is entirely possible to automatically remove Regolith, but it requires a considerable amount of, it's a huge project. It's a huge undertaking. But it would look something like this here. This image. So you can see the temp shift plates, a little bit of petroleum, which is the yellow liquid. And then what you don't see in this image is a coolant line, which then removes the heat from the robo miners. That image right there was an image from my last Oxygen Not Included, which I'm using as reference. So yeah, it's possible. It's just a lot more project than I'm willing to take on. So I'd rather just do it a little manually. We're almost done with the liquid line. Almost. Look at all the berries. Man, we are going to have a lot of food. If I have Glitch cook them. Yeah, might as well. And it is now 180 C. And the temp shift plates here are about 170 C. So easily I will be able to boil water in there. But I'm not really going to start the whole boiling water thing. I'll introduce a little bit of water and start to get it hot, but I'm not going to be pumping it in anywhere until I have the engine. And I don't have the steel for the engine yet. So checking in on my steel process. Yeah, it's being fed coolant. I'm going to just heat destroy the area because I'm going for speed. I'm not going for sustainability. Hi, Amin. Welcome to the chat. Just a few more segments and we'll be done. Okay. We should have flow. And there it is. And you can also see that the backed up sewage reservoir has been cleared. And in a minute, you'll start to see the batching of the filtered water dropping into this volume increased reservoir. Will moles cause problems in the steam box? I don't think so. But I have no idea why it's taken them a year to close this stupid door. Probably irresponsible to put it as an alarm as they're sleeping, though. So now the water's just sitting here, waiting in queue to be dumped into this little box here. And as soon as that door closes and locks, we'll be good. Because the ventilation is all set up, ready to run to a rocket. It's weird to see the celestial bodies sort of just hanging out there, huh? What is wrong with all of you? Just close the door. I feel like I've been waiting a year and a day. At priority 9, it shouldn't be that long. Can they not get through? Yeah, they might not be able to get through. I didn't think that blocked them, but maybe that's the case. No, it doesn't say it was reachable the whole time. Alright, don't do that. Don't do that. There it is. Okay, so now it's locked. And I can start putting water in it. And as you can see, the water is immediately turning to steam. No delay at all. Right? And it's high pressurized steam. Alright, let's turn that off. That's probably enough steam for now. Until I start using the steam, it doesn't really help to add more. And what will end up happening is the steam will also help to sort of equalize the temperature all around. Hey, Vols. What up? Death! I like the delayed death there. So yeah, we got some steam. And we almost have enough for our rocket engine. So, speaking of the rocket engine, let me set up the prerequisites for it. So I think what I'll do is set up a ladder like this and dig out a vertical shaft here for it. Like that. One of the things to note is when your rocket blasts off, it produces a lot of heat underneath the rocket by like 10 tiles, 13 tiles, I forget exactly. 9, I think, for steam. Something like that. So you want to make sure that you have nothing underneath where your rocket is blasting that will get destroyed. Or bad things happen. Very bad things happen. So having space underneath for the rocket is very wise. It's like a 3x9 blast underneath or something like that. So we'll start to work on that as we work on the steel. So speaking of the steel, let's go down to the steel refinery. Still working on lime. Really? Okay, well, if we're working on lime, there's still rock crushing. So we're building up the lime. So this here is going to be set to 9, and then the refinery set to 9, because that's really what's important right now. Pit pigs. I don't really need them anymore. Abyssalite will help to block the blast, yeah. So having this abyssalite layer here is really useful to try to prevent it from sending heat, like a heat shock down below. Yeah, it's probably enough cooking. Turn that back off. Turn barbecue back off too, because one of the issues with barbecue is when we kill these shovels, they the amount of commute, the amount of travel time it takes to get out to the voles is a lot. So when you barbecue, once you have access to space, you can find yourself with the cooks of your colony like running quite a lot out to space to just grab a little meat and then run back, and it's very inefficient. So it's awesome to have barbecue, but it's also a bit of a curse if you're not moving the meat efficiently. I am almost at the 2K for the engine. Now there is a rocket calculator for oxygen not included, and you can just Google Oni rocket calculator, and what that does is it allows you to calculate how much steam or whatever method that you're using to blast off, how much of it you're going to need, how much fuel essentially or propellant that you'll need for your space program. So yeah, but here we go. We have the capacity to build a steam engine. Oh, well, we had. I don't know where the steel just went. Someone like used it and moved it. And there it is. There's the steam engine again. Yeah, the rocket calculator is very, very handy. Very, very, very handy. And if you take a look at the database here for steam engine, you can read a little bit, like it's overheat. It needs a gas intake for steam. Some of it's depreciated. Yeah, I use the rocket calculator constantly because it is very, very helpful. So I think what I'm going to do is dig a little down to this level and just scorch earth the abyssalite. I don't really care about the abyssalite. And set it up on the abyssalite layer, which has 0 thermal conductivity. And just do it that way, because why not? So in order to get that done, I'm going to set up temporary ladders here so we can dig out the rocket tunnel. Don't you go in there. I think it would boil to death anyway. And it's going to look something like that. I'm going to put the steam engine there. And then the research modules above it. So for one... I can have... So if you take a look at the map here again. Open the star map. There is a certain amount of research that can be done per asteroid. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 per asteroid. So I'm going to actually send a... If I can afford it, it really depends on how much steel I manufacture, but I'm going to try to send a maxed out launch for my first launch, because, yeah, that'd be cool. So there's the giant rocket engine, requiring all that steel. And then we'll have a bunch of research modules above it, which means that I'm going to need to run that line, the line for the steam, all the way down. Which means probably all this is going to get dug out too. And a lot of these ladders here are going to be removed once everything else is done, systematically peeling back like layers of an onion. How steam does the rocket engine? What? Sorry, what? How much steam does it require? So it depends on its payload. The payload would be how many cargo bays you have, which this rocket will have 0, how many research or sightseeing modules that you have, what kind of fuel you have, what kind of engine it is, and then the calculator will calculate it for you. Thank you for tuning in to Oxygen Not Included Badlands, which originally streamed live on Twitch March 31st. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below, but please keep in mind that this series has since ended, and it was also casual without backseat gaming allowed. If you'd like to catch live streams of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. Thank you so very much for watching. I hope to catch you next episode, or an upcoming stream of some other game. Farewell.